All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here again, talking real issues, real music, and doing it in real time for a few real people who remain just like you and just like me. All right, so this will be my third video about Tawny Katane, because I'm getting the sense that there's now becoming a little pushback on my channel from people who are, again, trying to reiterate things that just don't make sense. And I'm not doing any groundbreaking research or reporting. I'm going to read this to you again because I think the truth is kind of important. All right. Tawny Katane, the video vixen, who is in those great Whitesnake videos, who quite honestly was an MTV icon for quite some time, passed away recently at the age of 59. And we're being told at the age of 59 that her manner of death was ruled natural. In other words, she died of natural causes at age 59. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Someone who's in their 50s, like myself, isn't too excited about naturally dying at the age of 59. Does it happen? Maybe, but I don't see how natural equates to okay. Now, I'm not saying natural is normal, but when they say natural causes, typically that's somebody like 95 years old, lived a long life, and stuff just kind of stopped, right? That's what you assume. Something just stopped working, but there was no real issue that led to that stoppage. And so they say he died or she died of natural causes. So her daughters are out there. And by the way, my sympathy goes out to her daughters. They told Fox News, to be honest, I had a big sense of relief to know it was natural. But regardless of the outcome, at the end of the day, I don't have a mom anymore. And that's all I care about. But in a way, I am relieved that it was natural. When we got to the scene, the first responders told us there's no foul play. She died peacefully in her bed. There was no struggle. Were they expecting something else to occur to their mother? Was there supposed to be somebody who was stalking her? This whole thing is bizarre. Again, let me read to you what the Orange County Sheriff said. Tawny's cause of death was dilated cardiomyopathy. That's what they said. And then in the next sentence, they say the manner of death was ruled natural. Is cardiomyopathy a natural way to die? Well, there are some other things going on. Clogged arteries. She was on some antidepressants, including Xanax. She had taken some pain medication, Tylenol, and she had nerve pain medication in her system and hydrocodone. All right. Now, here's the deal. All of those things combined, they don't sound like it might just be no big deal. But again, they ruled the manner of death as natural. Now, what is cardiomyopathy? It refers to diseases of the heart muscle. These diseases have many causes, signs and symptoms, as well as treatments. In most cases, cardiomyopathy causes the heart muscle to become enlarged, thick, or rigid. In rare instances, diseased heart muscle tissue is replaced with scar tissue. Now, I've been hearing a lot about something called myocarditis. I don't know how similar that is to cardiomyopathy, but it sounds pretty similar. Now, someone did reach out to me and say that Tawny Katane played for Team Brandon. Okay, that was her preferred view of the world. She had a Brandon view of the world, right? So can we assume, based on her Brandon view of the world, and again, this article makes no mention of if she did something or if she didn't do something. In fact, all three articles that I've read, again, make no mention. And to me, that is a key component that is being ignored, like in so many other stories. This one, though, to me is like low-hanging fruit. Like, okay, did she do the thing or did she not do the thing? Because if she did the thing, and I've been hearing about this other thing called myocarditis, and she's got something that sounds kind of similar, right? I mean, has she always had this? They don't say that. But then they say she died of natural causes, and she had all these other things in her symptoms, in her system. So this, to me, just the more they try to play this, the daughters come out and they say, thank goodness it was natural causes. You know what? Look, if it gives them peace, if it gives them solace to know that it was natural causes, then so be it. If everybody is covering because it was something else, at some point, people, it's going to be a criminal activity. I'm just going to say it like I think it is. How can you continue to cover for something? So 59, I can expect, and everybody else who's in their 50s, yeah, 59, that's about all you're going to get out of life. Look, I know she had some other issues. They mentioned it in other articles that she was struggling with various substances. Okay, so they're not ruling that any of those substances that were in her system caused the problem. They say it's natural, okay? Natural to me would be covering up for something else based on the fact that I don't think dying from, again, let me just get this right. I want to say myocarditis, but this is cardiomyopathy. So passing away from cardiomyopathy is natural, is normal, because that doesn't seem normal, doesn't seem natural. Anybody with a brain with just a little tiny bit of common sense would kind of assume that that doesn't seem like a normal thing. Yes, people eventually die from something, but 59 years old, and I just don't think that's the proper age. That even with our declining healthcare system, and even with all of her other extracurricular activities, I don't think that's a way to go naturally. And no matter how many articles they put out, see, I'm going to do, the more they do articles on Tawny Katane, I don't think they should have even covered the daughter's reaction, but I think they're covering the daughter's reaction because they must know that either A, people like me are going, huh? Or B, that they've got to keep the thing going. They've got to reaffirm natural causes, natural causes. No mention, again, if she participated in the Let's Go Brandon program. There's no mention. And that would be a very interesting piece of information. Now, if she had done it, of course, they would have come out and said, well, there's no correlation between that and this, even though what they're describing here, I believe, is something that might be caused by the other thing. And if she had other issues going on, why would someone allow her to do that? Now, again, I don't have any confirmation for sure, but I do know somebody who worked with her who basically reached out to me and said, yes, she was very pro-Brandon. So it's most likely that she took the little emperor's advice and did what she was told to do. There's a high probability of that. Although some of those people can be hypocrites. They can tell everybody else to do it and then not do it themselves. I believe there are a lot of people in media and government. I heard there were up to 200 people in Congress who are doing the Joe Rogan method and didn't want it to get out there that that's what they were doing, but they were doing like the Joe Rogan protocol. They didn't want anyone to know, but yet they're telling everybody else to go do the thing. So am I making more of this than I'm supposed to? Probably. But they keep writing articles to cover this. Now, they didn't do anything when poor Hank Aaron kicked the bucket, right? Of course, he was what, in his 80s? So they were all saying, it's just a coincidence. He's old. You know, he's old. He had arms that looked like tree trunks, but he was old. Greatest home run hitter of all time. And it's like, where is the rug so we can just sweep everything under it? Because that's what that felt like. And that was early on when the thing rolled out. And he was up there, you know, proudly doing what his country was asking him to do, like it was his patriotic duty. He's no longer here. That stinks, people. That really sucks. And I don't know if this is related. We're never going to know, because I'm starting to think that there's just a giant cover-up going on. But I'm going to call it out. I'm just going to call it out when I see it. And I think a lot of people should call it out. And maybe it'll stop. Maybe at least they'll have to do a better job at lying, because this is a crappy job at lying when you say all of this stuff that happened is natural causes. Again, my heart goes out to her daughters, her fans, people who love those videos. They're iconic. They're important cultural markers back in the late 80s. Of course, most of that stuff now is considered very misogynistic. So you really can't like it anymore. But back in the day, we liked it, and we weren't embarrassed to like it because it was just part of rock and roll in those days. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that's the way it was, and people lived through it, and they turned out okay. Most people turned out okay watching Tawny Katane in those videos. And by the way, compared to some of the music videos in the last 10 years with women doing things and not wearing things, and there's really no comparison. It's just kind of ridiculous. But all the old stuff will be labeled bad, whereas all the new stuff is excused and just like, hey, that's just what people do nowadays. That's how how you get yourself out there, and you better market yourself that way. Otherwise, nobody's going to buy your music because it's really not all that good to begin with. Whereas the Whitesnake music was good on its own. You didn't really need the videos, but anyway, the two sort of went together and made it even better. So there you have it, folks. Is it a conspiracy? Am I crazy? You know, when I read natural causes and then there are a list of things before natural causes, and you just read the article and your head explodes, yeah, that's great. And it just keeps happening over and over again.